Welcome to the Week 14 in review with BONESTORM. Matt Dickey and Kevin Heath coming at you. I know you can't see us because I'm doing it this way, but that look on Patrick Mahomes' face says it all, doesn't it, ladies and gentlemen? If you saw the end of that game,
I heard him whining all week.
Yes, what a big
offsides.
What's
going off.
What I love most about his whining and how he's handled this so poorly is that this is exactly the inkling that I saw on that wonderful show on Netflix, Quarterback. I saw boy, this guy doesn't seem like the greatest guy, and then this happens, and I was like, pretty much what I expected, jerk face. So pretty interesting, but boy, did we have a wild finish. The finish to this game was much like the finish to our league. Let's get to it. First one up, you versus your sister, and boy, you didn't need to play for it, but like you said, you play your guys, so talk to me through it.
That's right. I did start a full roster, picked up Russell Wilson, which didn't cost me too much. He got 18 and a half. Another 18 out of Derrick Henry. That was a wild game.
Oh, my gosh.
Game.
Mm-hmm.
Holy Toledo. 27 off of Zeke. Another guy got off the bench. Got him at the right time.
Yeah.
And DeAndre Hopkins with 27 and a half. Good outing for me. 155. Let's look at the other team. So Josh Allen, off the bench from a bye last week. He gets 21 and a half. ETN's good for 17. But then Stephon Diggs, so who they throw to?
So here's what happened in that game was Josh Allen did a ton of dump offs to James Cook, who really benefited that. But who did it hurt? Stephon Diggs, and there you see it.
Okay, I see. So Aaron Jones, 0. Did he play?
He didn't even play. But if you look at her bench, she had no one else. This was, again, she had 2 bye weeks at the end of the season that really cost her those 2 games because of these stupid short benches, Layton's. Although I can't wait to tell you the new idea they have for next year.
Okay, awesome. All right, and then DJ Moore had quite the day, 26.8. And then Roxon Johnson, only good for 0.6.
Yeah, that was tough.
Not great. I didn't really leave anything on the bench, neither did Terry. I get the win, but interesting development for round 1. We'll cover that in a minute.
Yep.
Terry may have a chance at vindication.
Yes, she might. Okay, let's move on to the next game. We have Joseph versus Nick's pick. Thank you, Joe. You saved my season with this win.
Okay, just like we've been talking, the occasional acid flashback who has decided, probably out of being suspicious or not suspicious. What's the word I'm looking for?
I have no idea.
Superstitious. Thank you.
There you go.
He has not changed his name since he started winning like crazy.
I was going to try to wonder, is that a 2-week or 3-week lag with this occasional? We didn't see it change.
I believe so. I believe so.
All right, keep
he
going.
ends up getting the win. Joseph ends up getting the win, 123 to 101. Looking at his team, got lots of help from both Dak Prescott and Joe Mixon, both good for over 21 and a half points. And then, oh my gosh, Deebo Samuel, nearly 40.
Yeah.
He doesn't need much. He doesn't get much from Woods or Bateman, but he doesn't need it. Matt continues to be gay. What, did he miss an extra point, a field goal or something?
He missed a couple. Yes, that insane -4.
Unbelievable. That's probably the worst score from any kicker ever.
I don't know about ever, but definitely for this week.
Wild. And he doesn't leave anything on the bench, which is good. Going over to Nick's teams, this was rough. He did get 14 out of Mahomes, but that's not what he was projected to get. 7 out of Jacobs, 1.8 out of Mike
Evans, for crying out loud.
Yeah. And a combined 10.5 from T. Higgins and Gus Edwards. Not great. He does get 14 out of San Francisco's D. Justin Tucker, your nemesis, gets 13.1. Why did he have Mostert on the bench? That guy's been going off all season.
Well, he has, but he's had a couple of down weeks, so maybe he saw some matchup, Maybe it was Hubbard against New Orleans, or maybe he liked Gus Bus. I don't know. I'm sure there was a reason, because Nick's been picking good all year. I'm sure there's a reason behind this, but yeah, he just it's just like we all do when we leave our best guy on the bench or whatever, like what could and that's a number of points that could have definitely swung some things here, so...
Yeah, look at that. Well, congrats to Joe, and I know that it helped you because we'll cover this in a second, but might have been a 3-way tie in a couple divisions. We shall see.
Yep, let's move on to my game.
Your game. Well done, Matthew. Larry Sellers comes away with the win over week leaders 13. That was a nail-biter all week. 143 to 118. Let's take a look at your side. Oh, my gosh. It was the Lamar Jackson, Again, feast or famine with this, guys. A feast this way, 40 points. You got to love that. Kamara, not too bad. Kyron Williams is back to it at 16.3, 16.4 from A.J. Brown, and 22 for Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson came to play.
Not much to speak of the rest of the way.
Nope.
Although, Minshew, he really didn't leave any points on the bench. Tyler Lockett, keeps messing with you over there down at the bottom.
Yeah.
And not knowing what to do there. On the flip side, poor Sam, Justin Herbert, with less than a point. What happened?
Okay, so he got hurt early on and broke his finger, and now he had to have surgery out for the season. So he went down early, and that was a big bummer because obviously you don't want to win with their players going down, especially so early. So I felt bad for her there. But that was what happened to old Justin.
Okay, well, that stinks. Looking at her running backs, she's got a combined 40 out of Tony Pollard and Barkley, and another 20 from Michael Pittman Jr. Not too much. I mean, Nakua got 14, which he was supposed to. Looking at her bench, who would have known
Drake London my goodness,
was going to bust off 31.2, and then OBJ good for 20. That's outperforming. That's outrunning the coverage.
Outkicking your coverage, for sure. Another thing that hurt her was the link, right? You have Justin Herbert go down, and then Keenan Allen's numbers get depressed. Right? He's supposed to get 21. He barely gets 12 with whoever that guy that they have in there that I can't remember his name. So that it's kind of a ripple effect there. So it was a tough day for her, but thankful win for me because that helped get me to the playoffs. Let's move on to poor Todd going up against your wife, who came back just to put the final nail in Todd's coffin.
I know, and she did feel bad about that because she did play spoiler in this thing. So Malibu, look over there first. Justin Fields gets her 26.7. Lots of points from her running backs, a combined 35 over there. 27.5. Finally, a decent day from Cup. Kittle is back. I'm going to stop talking about him because I think I jinxed him. Bijan even got 20. She had a lot of points. Another 20 from the Browns. So really good day. She finishes with 165.96. The other side of this coin, poor Todd, Jordan Love and Dameon Pierce team up to get 11, it looks like, somewhere abouts. Only 5.1 from Amon-Ra, the Sun God. 8.8 and 12.8 for Olave. A lot of these guys underperforming. And then look at, right after we badmouthed Kyle Pitts, guy goes off for 14.7. Just like I said, Todd, you have no reason to listen to what I have to say. And don't start now. 4.7 out of Jordan Addison, but nice day for the Vikings defense.
Well, look at that score, 3-0. It was like one of those boring games in the world. I mean, it's like the lowest scoring game in years and years. So of course they're going to get a ton of points. But so at least he got points from his D.
Very nice. Now the only thing he really left on the bench of significance is Jaden Reed.
But that wouldn't have swung it. And Jordan Love, he finally turned back into a pumpkin. He was riding high on him for a couple of weeks and then just laid an egg against the Giants, which was not supposed to happen, but it did. So sorry for Todd. Congrats to Malibu going into the offseason strong. And let's move on to Greg versus Cat, another rough one. Look at the point differential.
Look at this game. And might I say, our high and low score pick from last week were pretty close. Gotta love that.
Right.
Okay, looking at two low-scoring teams here. Let's go ahead and start with I hate the effing Eagles. Only 8.8 out of Jalen Hurts. That's
rough
not
day
typical.
Against Dallas. Yes.
Decent from Montgomery and Devontae, but not really much to write home about. Both guys underperform. Hunt for 10. Lots of 10s, 0 from Gabe Davis.
Jeez.
Not even sure if he played.
I think he did. He just got 0.
And then a bunch of zeros on his bench.
Yeah, he started the right ones.
89.52. Not great. On the flip side, Dallas Hurts just falls by 0.1 points. That is unbelievable.
That's insane.
Derek Carr doesn't help with 13.76. Sanders and Jamal Williams team up for almost 12. That's not great. Hill can't. I mean, gosh, he's got to be good for 20. Only comes in at 10.
Yeah, I've got something for that. Did you watch all that game or part of it?
Part.
Okay, because he was playing good, and then all of a sudden, Tyreek's down. He doesn't get up off the field for a while, then gets up and kind of runs off, shaking his head like, I got this, but then stays on the sideline, not going to the medical tent, not going into the thing for a long time. Then they bring him back in for some place. So and on a couple plays he looked like he was full speed, but then they didn't. Then they'd pull him off for a couple more plays, so he really didn't play a full game. That definitely depressed his numbers.
Yeah,
that's
too bad.
Mm-hmm. It was a bummer.
CeeDee Lamb gets her 19, but even that was underperforming for him, and not a lot of help the rest of the way down.
No.
She gets 89.42 versus 89.52. That is tough.
Yeah.
Going forward, she did pick up Baker Mayfield, who I recently cut. He was good for 24. Maybe he finds his way into the starting lineup, but she did have 2 players on bye, so I'm not really sure exactly how how good those guys are, but maybe they help her.
Well, Brian Robinson's been good for her in the past, but the rest, I don't know. It's more question marks. And poor Jonathan Taylor's been injured, so who knows if he's going to be back for next week. But, yeah, it was just a tough one for Kat. It doesn't really affect her position. I think she was already in the playoffs, but definitely a tough one to lose by that point. And I think that one pushed Greg out of the playoffs, but we'll get to that soon. So let's move on. This game, I couldn't believe it.
Sanchez,
another close one.
This is another competitive game. Wow. 2 Titans. We called this last week, though. 2 Titans going up against each other. Mark Sanchez up against Log Jammin. Log Jammin comes away with the win with another nice weekly score of 169.5 versus Kev's 165.5, give or take.
Close.
Very, very close. Let's look at Kev's team first. We've got 28.42 from Brock Purdy. That's 2 weeks combining for really nice scores.
Yeah.
Eckler is back with 21. Could have highlighted him.
Yeah, he had a good one. I could have.
Yeah, and so did Breece Hall. Breece Hall's been kind of quiet lately. Busts off 26
big
and a half.
One. Yeah, big day for Breece.
You could have highlighted this too. Zay Flowers goes off for 20.
I could have.
And then let's take a look at Rashad White as 23
He's been his best scorer for a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Lots of points. He's even got points on the bench if you look down there.
I know, that's what kills me is either one of those guys and it flips it to his win. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, you mean up in the not George Pickens. That's not going to help him any.
Yes. If you take George Pickens and switch him out with Nico Collins. But the problem with Nico Collins is you're not going to not start him. He got his calf injured in the first quarter.
Projected to get double.
Yeah, so there's that. But I mean, the Jerick McKinnon one was definitely a wild card. And I mean, it got him some points, don't get me wrong. But boy, Tajay Spears certainly takes that for him. So, but yeah, no, you're right. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Looking at Logjam, and what's impressive, he's got 169 with only 9 from Tua, who's been a big scorer for him.
Yep.
But McCaffrey gets almost 20. Not too bad. Zach Moss, about half of what he was supposed to do. But then as you get further down, he gets a lot more help from his team.
Yes, Evan Ingram.
18.5, 32.5 from Evan Ingram.
Insane.
Very nice. 25.1 out of James Cook.
That's who they were throwing to in Buffalo.
From Jamar Chase, but he's got some powerhouses.
Yeah.
Dolphins for 12, and good heavens, is this a record for the season? I don't know. Brandon Aubrey.
It is for this. Yeah.
For him, gets 24.4.
Yeah,
very nice.
I'm pretty sure it is a record for the season. It doesn't top the most. I think the most still belongs to Justin Tucker from that Monday night where he scored 6, like 2 or 3 over 50. That killed me. I remember that Todd started. But the Brandon Aubrey one is hysterical because Jason is the guy that hates the kicker position. We shouldn't even have it, and yet without that, you lose, sir. You lose, exactly. So it got you the win. Don't look a kicker in the eye. So anyway, and it all came down to that Monday night because he's losing, but then he had going Tua, Waddle, and the Dolphins, so he had the triple one. But because they struggled so much against Tennessee, it wasn't a foregone conclusion he was going to win. It was tooth and nail right up to the end. But he's thankful that Tennessee didn't score more. It would have been a loss because that Dolphins score would have been depressed. And the Dolphins scored a touchdown from their defense in the first quarter of it, so that really helped him. Without that, he definitely loses. So good game, Jason. You got the win. Now let's get to the final standings and take it away.
Before we do that, if you don't mind, I got one observation about Monday night games. So both Don and I had games come down to Monday night, and I'm not just talking, most teams had to wait till Monday, but not most, a lot. But we've had some where it really came down to it on both sides of the coin, right? Where we've got to score points to win, or we've got to hope they don't score points to win. And I'd much rather be the latter. It is way more nerve-wracking knowing that you're probably supposed to win, but you don't have the win yet.
Yes.
It is very nerve-wracking, and I did see at least one team fall short. It's much better to sit there and hope the other guy doesn't score, because I've seen that twice now this year. Don was able to turn it around, and I think you did one week.
It's Monday nights are completely nerve-wracking on being on either side. Right. If you're the one that's ahead, you're just watching it slowly, your lead slowly dwindle if they keep scoring. And if you're the one that needs to score, you're Hail Marying every time. Like, please just get this in there. So anyway, go ahead.
I'd rather have the points going in.
I understand.
Yeah, that's just me. Okay, anyway, this is the one that everybody wants to see, although the group chat has been very healthy this year and has been fun, so I think most people already know. But if you don't, let's wrap it up for the regular season. Brockway finishes on Krusty finishes on top of Brockway with a division-leading 9-5. Not too shabby.
Pretty impressive.
Dallas Hurts gets in with 5-9. Impressive.
Insane.
And then poor Todd on the outside,
one game back
at 4-10. Sorry, Todd, but we'll talk about this again later. There's still much to play for. Over in Ogdenville, wow, 8-6. So 5-9 in Brockway gets in. 8-6 ain't good enough over in Ogdenville. 3-way tie.
Insane.
Fortnite goes first to worst because you guys both won. He fell. So you all
and then it came down to points.
Assuming it went to points.
It went head to head and then points, I think. Yeah, but it just
it did go head to head.
I don't know if it went head to head, but definitely in points we had to nick by like 100 or a couple hundred. So yeah, it was close.
Unbelievable. So sorry, Nick. That is rough.
Yeah.
But for Ogdenville,
same thing.
For Log Jammin' and Larry Sellers. Yeah. Nicely done, boys. Okay. Down to North Haverbrook.
Same thing.
Again, another 3-way tie. That is nuts. We had the occasional acid flashback, Gentleman for Cordelise, and Greg all ending up with 500 records, 7-7. The lucky ones are Joe with the occasional acid flashback, crawls from the depths of North Haverbrook to rise to the top. Gentlemen for Corderlies, who had
been the leader
this league for weeks and weeks and weeks, ends up having a rough couple of weeks. One against me, sorry, Ter, but to her surprise, she thought she was out. She's actually in. Poor Greg on the outside looking in. Sorry, Greg,
rough
but
loss.
Again, more to play.
Yeah.
Springfield finishing with a tie for best record in the league with myself. Good job, Sam. We are the cream of this latte that is fantasy football. We've got Mark Sanchez, Juggernauts, who came in strong on the second half of this season to finish at 7-7. He's in. And the other team on the outside looking in, 5-9, Malibu Stacy's.
Yeah, it was quite the photo finish in a lot of these, and it was great discussing on Sunday, all the different scenarios that were playing out, because if this, then that, there were lots of different things that came. But the irony of all ironies is that literally two divisions can come down to literal ties on every team is insane. That is as close as it's ever gotten. And again, in the two that weren't, only one game separated Kat and Todd, and only 2 games separated Dawn and Clemens. So it wasn't like it was very far away. It wasn't like, and there was no true loser this year that had no chance of making it, that was out halfway through the season. So congrats to everybody playing their best, making their moves, trading when they needed to. It proved to be, as wild as the season has been, I think it shows the level of acumen in this league. Everybody did a good job pulling together, and even with injuries or problems, they managed together to pull something together and come out with this result to where almost everybody was at least fighting for it this last weekend. It was great.
Yeah, it's super competitive all year. We mentioned it before, but yeah, good job. It was a really good regular season.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, you want to go to the next?
Yep, let's go to the next. Here we go. And the next up is the award. So this was just for this week. We have a special twofer for this one. So this one starts with Log Jammin' with his lead league week this with an impressive 170. Okay, bottom of the pile, Dallas Hurts. We know that with poor Cat. Bragging rights, Malibu Stacy's blew out Uncle Todd's family feedback by 62. So good job, Don. Bad beat Dallas Hurts. 0.1. We talked about that. That is so horrible.
That is brutal.
Yeah, lucky break. I hate the F Eagles. Oh, it was a gift to whoever made the schedule. They stole a W this week despite Dallas Hurts being the only team that they would have beaten. That's true. Mark Sanchez, juggernauts, must have broken several mirrors this week. All play of 9-2 wasn't enough to get the job done as they went down fighting with log jamming, right? Okay, they
he
put
beats
that
every
one.
other team, I think, this week.
Exactly. And then sharpshooter, nice job, Joseph. He again gets the perfect 100%. Let's move on. There's lots more to see. And now the final standing projections from where we started to where we ended. Kev, take it away.
Okay, so this is interesting. So look, the last time we looked at this, it had me flip-flopped, like doing really good at that. Now they like me a little bit
more. Look at that.
So
you only slid one spot.
One. Now they think I'm 2. I will definitely take that.
Sure.
Malibu Stacy's, they had at 2. Now they're projecting at 11. Sorry, babe. That might be the biggest drop of the league.
Yeah.
I apologize. I hate the F Eagles. They had at 3, finishing the season at 9. Gentleman for Cordelees, ironically, in 4 after draft day, and drops 4. Lots of 4s over there, down to 8. Nick's picks 5 and 6. They thought you finished about where you started, like me. Dallas Hurts, they think, dropped 4 points. 6 on draft day, 10 by the time we wrap up the season. Poor Uncle Todd. They thought you were right there in the thick of it on draft day, but they've got you at 12, finishing last for the season. Sorry, Todd. Mark Sanchez improves just slightly from 8 to 7. The occasional acid flashback, and we saw this developing throughout the season. He improves from 9th on draft day. Again, this is according to ESPN's, what they believe you, how you drafted, all the way up to 4th. Log Jammin' Jay didn't like you on draft day. They love you on week 14, 3rd place. Larry Sellers, again, another team. I cannot throw too much shade on you today. Larry Sellers, they hated your team on draft day.
Yes, they did.
Thought you stunk it up. They think you made some good moves and improved to 5th. But the biggest turnaround, can't get any better than this.
Nope.
Wing Leader 13 shows what ESPN
knows, which is Jack Squad.
You were the worst. Turned out you were the best.
Yeah.
So very nice. 11 position climb. That's
very
impressive.
nice. Yeah, so it's always fun to look back at that and see what they came up with and what they ended with. And let's move on to let's see just a quick preview of the winners bracket before we get into the specifics. This is how it'll roll out. So it'll be whoever, it's Dallas Hurts, Wingler 13 versus whoever wins between Larry Sellers and occasional acid flashback. Then we got Sanchez Juggernauts with a rematch with Log Jammin' and Gentleman for Girls with a rematch with Camp Krusty. So two games, just complete rematches. Let's get to the specifics. Oh, we got a little of the claims to get to. There's a few of them on there for me, as you can see, but I couldn't believe somebody dropped Trey McBride, the literal tight end that was rising. Just great. I knew somebody would get him. I had a feeling, but of course Terry got him for 5. And Wing Luda 13 got Desmond Ritter because, again, she's without Justin Herbert, but nobody was bidding against her, and then a bunch of other zeros that picked up things. So not a whole lot of a fight, but good job, Terry. And then here are the awards for the season. This is for the season, people. So Log Jammin' setting the pace with an impressive 2,189 points overall. Nice job, Jason.
Wow.
Bottom of the pile, Todd, the Sun, 1778. Ooh, bragging rights. Whatever else happens, Larry Sellers will always have that week 4 slamming of Malibu Stacy's by 98.
I see, I told you.
I was going to say, when I read that, I laughed. I'm like,
Remember,
oh, you did call
I was
that.
saying, I think you beat her by a bunch. Yeah.
Yes, you did. Lightning in a bottle, that belongs to Sam with her league-high 226 points. Great job, Sam. We can't look away. This is poor Joseph's team. At other times, it plays out that your friends have had time to taunt you with texts and gifts, the latter for the occasional last flashback in week 6 when they checked in with 76 points. Ow, that's the lowest of the season. But look at what he did. He turned it all around, and then somebody grabbed a fire extinguisher. This is what we've been saying. On a fire right now with a winning streak of their last 3 matchups. That's Joseph. He is on a run when he needs it. Lucky run, that'd be you, Irish. Befitting for you. Camp Krusty is a 9-5 season, winning 64.3 of their matches, but only has a 45.5 win rate in the all-play standing. So you played the right ones at the right time. Not so lucky. A 53% win rate for Joseph in all play, but has only gone 7-7 this season. But it doesn't matter because he ended up on the right end of it. And then the sharpshooter, that's you. Fantasy Savant. Oh my God, I hate reading that about your team. 94%. But it says Joe's right behind you with 93.5, so he barely lost to you. But congrats, all the winners of the league awards. And now let's get to, thank you, the first matchup. When we have two previous matches that you've been in before this, both of them went to you. Is this her revenge? Let's talk about it.
Oh, we've played twice already.
Yes.
So this is gosh,
third match.
What's gonna happen? I'm gonna lose when it counts.
I know, right?
Okay, so I believe we have full lineups. I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna make any changes, but this is gonna be a close game. They think it's gonna be. They think Terry's gonna win 134 to 128, and our averages, she's also better than me. So on paper, and I agree with it, her team is better than mine. I just, like they said before, I've had some lucky breaks. Let's see if I can keep it going. Although I'm going to keep my reverse psychology going, I am going to lose and lose big. I am one and done in playoffs this year.
Yeah, I was going to say I like most of your matchups. On your end, the only one I question is the Travis Kelce. You know what Bill Belichick does best, which is take away the number one weapon. And who's the number one weapon on Kansas City? That's your man, Travis Kelce. We'll see.
The refs. That's
exactly.
Kansas City.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and then the only other questionable I have for you, question as in how is this going to go, is that Dallas versus the Bills game. If it's the Dallas that we've seen before, might be trouble for the Bills, and they might score crazy. And
I might have to switch
that might be tough. On the other hand, she's got a bunch of tough matchups. Look, she's got Josh Allen going against that great Dallas defense. She has Travis Etienne going against a very tough Baltimore defense. She has Diggs against Dallas, and then DJ Moore against a very good Cleveland defense. So it's not a walk away for her.
San Francisco's playing good D as well.
Oh, yeah, I should have put San Francisco for James Conner. Exactly. Yeah. So there's no gimmies. Even though those are the average and projections, it could swing one way or another. This should be an exciting game for both of you, obviously, and we'll see if the previous matchups show what's going to happen or if it gets flipped here. So good luck to both teams.
Thank you.
Let's get to the next one. That'd be me.
All right, next one. Oh, look at this one. Here's another rematch from in the middle of the season. We've got, this is a bit of a grudge match. Not quite so spiteful as others, but a little bit. No. We got Larry Sellers going up against the occasional acid flashback. You, sir, are going up against a team on the rise.
I know, believe me, I know.
It really likes your team, and I got to say, based on your averages, I like your team as well.
Thank you.
I think, though, honestly, I know you don't want to hear this. I think your team is based on, I could be wrong, based on which Lamar Jackson shows
it
up.
could be. It could be.
Is it the 40-point
Absolutely.
one, or is it the 9-point one?
Completely. No, I completely agree with you. It is going to be a big question mark with Lamar. Which Lamar comes out to play. I mean, Jacksonville's been up and down. It's a game that obviously they'd both like to win. But again, what Jekyll and Hyde am I going to have? Meanwhile, on the other side, we got Dak again, who's been playing out of his mind. Now, Buffalo doesn't have a great defense, so he could just have a day where he goes off. And then Justin Jefferson, all signs are looking like, it says questionable, but all signs are looking like he's going to play. That could be a huge pickup for him. And then he's got the Cowboys defense, so I'm just hoping Buffalo scores on them so he doesn't just get a 50 burger from the Cowboys defense. But it's going to be a great game. I'm looking forward to it, and who knows?
He's got Debo coming off of a monster
game.
We'll see if that continues to go.
And they're going up against soft Arizona.
Jackson.
Yeah.
But speaking of what might be a surprise, Kyron Williams could have a big day. I don't think Washington is known for.
They're pretty bad right now. I'd love to have them see a good big day. Yeah,
that
absolutely.
Could be big. So we'll see. This is another exciting one. It should be close. I think it's going to be a lot closer than what the scores say.
Yeah, agree.
This is calling for a blowout. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, agree. I think it's going to be a lot closer than what they're saying. Let's get to another one that's had 2 games already, and this has been split.
Oh, yeah, look at this. So, Dallas Hurts and Wing Leader 13 have played twice this season, and each took a win in 2 incredibly competitive games. I mean, not huge scores, but they were very close in weeks 1 and 4. So this is a best 2 out of 3 with these two. They are calling for a blowout on this one. They think Wing Leader is going to take it big, 142 against 118. But again, I think it's going to be a little bit closer. We do have some question marks on these teams. Derek Carr is a question mark, but they got points for him as of right now. And that Tyreek Hill one, that could
Yes.
be interesting.
Mm-hmm. It's
I
a
think
big one.
that's the call. Like,
Of
what
course.
happens
Yeah.
there?
Yeah, that's
CeeDee's
the
going to have a
linchpin.
big game, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
probably going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? And even if he does play, New York has been playing decently on defense,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Stroud, let's see if he continues to
Questionable.
go.
Yeah,
Got a
concussed.
question mark
Mm-hmm.
over
Yep.
there.
Mm-hmm.
As does Keenan Allen. They
Yep.
don't like that matchup for some
Oh, in
reason.
fact, I think there might be an update. I want to say earlier today, I think I saw a report that said Keenan Allen likely to not even play on this game because I think he has. I think they have the Thursday game. I think it's San Diego versus the Vegas Raiders tomorrow night. So,
Okay, so that's a short week. And
if
not
that's the
enough time to
case,
come
yeah,
back,
and Keenan Allen has been at
geez.
times one of her highest scores, but being without the big quarterback and him questionable if he doesn't even play now, that could leave a big gaping hole where she needs those points to help prop her up. I don't know.
Yeah, she got a couple of tough matchups. She's got that one. They think Tony Pollard could do well against Buffalo, so we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
They don't like the matchup for Los Angeles against Washington, but still, I do. I don't think that Washington defense is very tough. I think
Puka could have a big day. I could see that.
So this is going to be interesting. Like I said, they're calling for a blowout.
Yeah,
Should
I don't see it.
Closer based on their previous matchups. So this will be very interesting. Best 2 out of 3. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, should be another interesting one. And again, an intra-family match in that one, just like yours. Now we get to another one, another split with a rematch. All right.
We've got Mark Sanchez Juggernaut, who just played logs in with Bunny Lebowski. They get a chance for redemption. And
both close games before,
this
too.
This has been ultra competitive against these two teams with very good scores on both of their previous matchups.
And look at the weeks, the first week and the last week. That is insane. I just noticed that.
That is wild. And I'm going to call it, this one's going to be maybe the closest
game of the week. Yeah, might be.
Competitive. And what's sad is, after this week, I know this doesn't make me a genius, but after this week, one of these extremely strong teams is out.
Gone.
That is rough.
Yes.
That is rough. Okay, looking at Mark Sanchez, lots of double digits over there on that team, as is on Jay's. They both have double digits all the way down to the kickers who are on the cusp of having 2 digits. Look at that. So, Brock Purdy, they like that matchup in Arizona. Looking down, Nico Collins questionable. Houston against Tennessee. Tennessee playing well, but they are giving up points. And then what else? Average matchups the whole way down. Maybe they like the Falcons matchup against Carolina. On the flip side, you got Tua, who you said he got hurt. Is that what you said?
I said no. Tua was a little dinged up, but he's fine. They don't have anything. It's it was Tyreek that was questionable for sure.
Okay.
And again, but if you watch that game when Tyreek was out, Dolphins didn't look like the Dolphins. That's why Tua had that. That's part of the reason why Tua had that low score. I mean, I think he also either fumbled or turned it over at one point in time. But like I say, without Tyreek, that whole offense runs on how fast Tyreek is and opens up so many things. So if he can't go, or if he's only a partial participant, Tua's numbers may be depressed, and that's going up against a very good New York Jets defense too. So you pile those things on, might be a tough sledding day for old Tua.
Yeah. Well, conversely, you get down to McCaffrey, who's had a monster season.
Oh, he should have a huge day.
They really like that matchup against Arizona. Who knows? That could be, like that one game I said for you for Kyron. This could be a big score here. Looking the rest of the way down, very odd. I don't know what to think about Jamar Chase. He's questionable. He's coming off of, I think, 2 of the last 3 weeks, he's had a tough go of it.
Yeah, this last week he had a really low one, but the week before against me, he had a huge game,
monster.
so you never know. And that quarterback there, that Browning kid, has been playing really well. So the question is, he might have another huge day. I don't know, he had such a low day last time because I think they were dumping it off to Chase, to Mixon and the Chad Brown or Chad Evans or whoever that speedster was, the running back. Yeah. So he's very questionable on whether he'll have a huge day or maybe just be forgotten again. I don't know.
Yeah, so, who knows? But they don't like the matchup in Minnesota there.
No.
He's claiming he's going to get about 4 points less than what he's been averaging, so they must not like that. They do like the KC against New England matchup, though, giving Rashee Rice 3 more points than he's been doing.
Yeah, and he's definitely the number one receiver there, or one of the more trusted receivers for. I mean, not obviously behind Kelsey for Patrick Mahomes. So he had a big week last week too.
And they think a lot from the Dolphins. I mean, I'll take 14 points.
Yeah, they've had some really good defensive weeks, and against the Jets and that poor Zach kid, they could have a really big day. So again, that might be able to help him out if Tua has a bad day. Maybe the defense does a good job, So
well, this will be a good one. This is another best 2 out of 3.
Yeah,
Kev against Jay, you guys have been playing well. Good luck. 2 very good teams. So. Should be good.
Yeah, good luck. I think that is our last one. Yep, that's the last one. So let me go here and we'll get rid of that, and we'll go to stop sharing, and we'll get to our beautiful faces.
And I should note
that
if we didn't call your name, it does not mean you're not playing this week.
Correct. That means that
you
all those people
playing this week.
Yeah.
We just didn't cover it. We're only covering the winner brackets, but there's still much to play for. We've got a consolation bracket. I don't want to call it a loser bracket, but it is what it is. You have your draft spot for next season to play for.
That's right.
Keep your lineups going.
And hey,
try your best. There's still plenty to play for.
I'll throw this out there for all the tech-savvy people. If 2 people from the losers bracket want to do their own video cast and post it, we'd love to see that too. So if anybody wants to get jiggy with it and say, I think I can do better than these 2 sacks of crap, let me show you what I can do. I would love to see it. No, it's very easy. Hard. It's very easy. So anyway, so it should be quite the matchup going into week 1. This is a win or you're out. One and done. It's a win and move on, or lose and you're done. So congrats to those who have made it. For those who didn't, if you want to pay and you haven't paid, you can use any of the payment apps. Are fine. Just let me know which one you want to use, and I'll tell you whatever my handle is for those. For those who have paid, thank you. And then, of course not. You never pay until the end. And you might win it all. And if you're in it, then don't feel like there's no rush to pay or whatever. Just when you're eliminated for sure, then let me know when you want to pay, just so I can get to ordering that trophy for whoever does win, and we have that for them on the day of the draft next year. Just put your name. Just start putting your. I don't think so, Jack.
I'm gonna be out.
No, come on now. All right, so anyway, it should be a good time. I know Terry sent the word out, and if anybody didn't see this on the text line, she is going to do a big hosting thing for the Notre Dame bowl game. I think she's got the place listed. I'll see if I can remember that next time or put it out there again. I know she'll probably pop up and say that again, so everybody's invited to that one. And then we're gonna do a couple more get-togethers here. I think we found a good place in Auburn. That's what's it? Old Town Pizza up in Auburn. They had a lot of good games. We just have to make sure it's not a Niners game. Get this. They must be a Niners backers bar, because you had 3 screens, right, on either side. We're sitting at a table, and there's 3 screens on either side, right? And one screen, this is stupid, one screen is literally all the beers they have. I don't care about that. But the other 2 screens, one of them is a red zone, and one of them was a local game, or whatever the local game was on, right? So we're watching kind of both of them as they're going, and it's great, and it's getting to the end of the first games, and there's like two games left to play, but the Niners are coming on, and all of a sudden you start seeing the other TVs turn on the Niners. Okay, and then all of them turn on the Niners. They didn't even leave one red zone. I'm like, okay, well, screw this place. It's got to be a day where the Niners, are either going to play later or something else. Because I want to have the red zone. I don't want to just watch the Niners if it's there, because we can't go there if it's just a Niners game at that time. So anyway, but I think we found a new place, and it's good because it's close for both Clemens and it's half and half for Clemens and Jason and the rest of us going up to Auburn. Anyway, 25 seconds left. So last thoughts, or we're going into the weekend.
Good luck, everybody. It's been a great season. Thanks for everybody for playing thus far, and keep it going.
Absolutely, yes. So I'm not going to say set your lineup, because everybody will. So for Kevin Heath, this is Matt Dickey signing off. Kev, and where's Harry? Take us home with a quick wizard. You got 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds.
Classy,
oh, actually, you know what? Keep going. It's funny. Oh my God, it's cold out here. Oh crap, I gotta stop the recording.